You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
The Mack Center in Kent, Ohio welcomes us to a scary All Hallows Eve matchup. In the blue corner, a team nested in adversity. While monikered as the Flashes of Gold, they've been confined to their name, only showing moments of greatness this year at the bottom of the conference. As for their opponents, it's the last day of the hunt for Red October. In this decade, the Cardinals are a dominant 44-5 in the month, but are only satisfied with more hardware. Their record would support the goal, leading the MAC at 11-1. The highest and lowest of Mid-America share a net for 2 matches, and we at SL Digital have the treat to call both. Welcome to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Dylan Budd. To my left is Roen Elbert. Happy Halloween, Roen. No costume can hide how much of a thriller this should be.
Thriller is the perfect word, little Michael Jackson reference, but Dylan, I just have to say, there's no better place to be on Halloween night than right here with two teams that are really in opposite predicaments, but at the same time have a lot to prove. Ball State, they're first in the MAC right now. It's all about just setting the pace, setting the standard, and really getting yourself in a position where you could lead the conference going into the MAC tournament. For Kent State on their end, they really have to win out and have a little bit of help to make the MAC tournament, currently sitting 12th. I mean, this is top against bottom. Kent State, they play with nothing to lose more than likely today. Playing with nothing to lose, a lot of desperation. It could be scary.
The Ball State Cardinals are on a roll after a sweep against Miami on Tuesday, but before that was a stunning loss to Ohio in a sweep. But it's clear in that Redhawks game, they learned from their mistakes of the past.
You know, Dylan, I think that last matchup against Miami was really a statement for Ball State to the rest of the MAC of, hey, we're not slowing down. You think one setback is going to define us? No. See, that Ohio match, there was a lot that went wrong. It was mainly rooted in the fact that they were running the same sets time and time again. Miami, they were very unique in their sets. A lot of different plays ran, a lot of different opportunities to different people. Still Carson Tyler, the focal point of that. We'll get more into that later. But all in all, Miami was a statement. Miami, a solid team in the MAC, and Ball State was able to sweep them on their home floor. You can't ask for much more.
You previously mentioned the necessity of Kent State winning this game. They have to win out and get some help from some of their MAC adversaries. How important is getting the win today?
Oh, for sure. You may look at it as if, okay, it's a really tough mountain to climb because Ball State, they've been one of the most dominant teams in the entire Mid-American Conference. Statistically, they are the most dominant team in the Mid-American Conference. Ball State having their best start to a season since 1997. You look at it that way, but also for Kent State, I've talked to their head coach, Haley Eckerman. They practice something called visualization, which basically ties into let's visualize ourselves winning and how the feeling is of winning. That's something Kent State really needs to do and really tap into if they want to come away with a victory from the mental side.
Roen, you and I know better than anybody that there is no such thing as MACtion. It's any given team on any given day, any given opportunity, and I have to ask, this is the top against the bottom, but is this a trap?
You could view it that way, but I don't think Ball State does. Kelly Miller-Phillips, she's been in this game far too long. She's trained her players to view any game as if it's any other game. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the top team in the MAC or if it's the bottom team of the MAC. They're going to approach it the same way. I mean, that's what all coaches are going to tell you. But these players, they know better than to just overlook a Kent State team, especially a team that, they, like I said earlier, they have nothing to lose. You can't overlook this Golden Flashes team, and I know they won't.
We're going to take just a brief break, but after that, a touch on our impact players for either side. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Well, together, we're all in it together. And I said it in my press conference, it's not just the players, it's not just the coaches, it's the administration, it's the trainers, it's the strength staff, it's the alumni coming back, it's the people in the community supporting our program.
Together to me is just moving as one cohesive unit.
I feel like I could just go back to our conditioning, our workouts together.
You're building a lifelong brotherhood with this team.
When I hear that word, it fires me up because I feel like it explains, football in a sense.
New episode of Together is out now.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paintwork on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle. You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
Starting lineups are getting announced right now at the Mack Center in Worthen Arena. But Roen, I have to ask you, before we get into the action, let's take a look at our impact players, starting with the visiting Cardinals. Who needs a big game today?
Really, for me, Dylan, it's Carson Tyler. How could it not be Carson Tyler? You look at it this way. She leads the MAC in kills per set, also leading the MAC in total points by a margin of 68 of the second place holder. Also in kills, leading that margin by 54. How unreal is that, Dylan? She had an incredible freshman year. We didn't think she could really top it, but here we are in year 2, and she's really set the standard even further for Ball State.
Taking a look at the starting lineup that just got announced for the Ball State Cardinals. The setter will be the junior number 8, Lindsey Green. Number 10, the graduate from Indiana Tech, Noelle Van Oort, takes the role as outside hitter. The opposite hitter will be number 11, Tiffany Snook, at a towering 6'2". The libero will don number 12 in the white jersey, as the rest of Ball State dons black. It is Sophie Ledbetter once again. The second middle blocker, donning number 13, is Gwen Kroll. The other one up the middle, Cam Weiss, the pride of Wapahani, Indiana. And to round out the lineup, the aforementioned impact player for Ball State, number 20, Carson Tyler. The lineups for Kent State being announced right now after their intro video finishes playing here at the Mack Center. Roen, I got to tell you, this arena is really pretty, really wonderful, an awesome place to get some volleyball going.
Do you know what it reminds me of, Dylan? I was saying this earlier. It kind of reminds me of Muncie Central, the field house there. That would be great for Kelly Miller Phillips, who went to high school there, that kind of familiarity. But yeah, really great arena here, really great atmosphere. And the fans have showed up for a team that all season it's been up and down. They've struggled, but this has been a solid crowd so far.
Taking a look at the Golden Flashes as their lineups are being announced, who needs a big day from them to counter Carson Tyler?
Well, why not counter one outside hitter with another? Let's talk about Mackenzie McGuire. This is a player who's one of the best players in program history for Kent State. She's 6th all-time in kills. Also, when you look at Haley Eckerman, their head coach, in her 3rd season, this is the only player still left on the Kent State roster that she didn't recruit. The leadership that McGuire brings, it's beneficial on and off the court. She's easily their number 1 option. She's going to do a lot for this Kent State team. They're going to feed her early and often. Mackenzie McGuire has to be the player you watch, Dylan.
McGuire's 3.84 kills per set is the 3rd best in the Mid-American Conference. Looking at the starting lineup so far announced, number 1, the defensive specialist, Greta Bolognini. Number 8, the middle blocker at 6 foot even, is Nadia Miller. After that, number 10, one of the offensive weapons, Macy Moreland, the true freshman at 6 foot even. After that is the impact player that we just talked about, Mackenzie McGuire, so outstanding for this Kent State program. Then the setter is number 14, Christina Vigil, the junior. After that, the middle blocker at 6'3", the red shirt sophomore, Adeline Ginley, to round out the rest of Kent State's lineup. These two teams converge, the lights are back on, and we are underway in just a matter of moments. Roen, this should be fun.
It really is going to, as the lights have come back on. What should be a great matchup on hand, especially early. You can tell that the energy is there. I believe it's trick-or-treat night here at Kent State, so the fans are, they're gathered here, the Halloween festivities. I mean, taking place everywhere, but especially right here at the Max Center. This is a Kent State team, like I said, desperation is the key. Play early, like you really have to have your foot on the gas pedal, and that will really benefit them in the long run.
Around the concourse here at the Max Center, we've seen different athletes from different Kent State sports giving candy to kids dressed in costume. Any attendees here in Kent, Ohio. We saw it with Ball State on Tuesday for their Chirp or Treat night against Miami, a game that they eventually won 3-0. Some shuffling going around now as we decide who is serving. It'll be Kent State, starting with the defensive specialist, Greta Bolognini. Just 2 service aces to her 9 errors on the year. She will serve from the near left side. Her offering goes, and we are underway. Received by Van Ort. Ledbetter the bump. Carson Tyler with a back row attack, recovered by Vigil. She leads the team in digs per set and is at the top of the MAC in that statistic as well. As the first point falls, Ball State strikes first blood.
I like that Ball State is trying to develop their back row attack. We haven't seen it as much. Kent State tried to counter with their own, just too strong on it.
The first server for Ball State all year has been the setter, Lindsey Green. She sends it across the timeline. Set up by Vigil. The first attack from Macy Moreland will land home. Kent State responds early.
Yeah, Macy Moreland, the freshman, what she's done for Kent State in the middle has been great, but that time attacking from the outside, I like the look.
Now it's the libero, Haley Brenner, the pride of Miami, Florida. She serves on the far left side. Received from Van Ort, set up to Green, up the middle, Cam Weiss. Early kill for her. She's been so productive and efficient all year long.
That's going to be the best look for Ball State. That's going to be their most common look, going to the middle with either Weiss or Krull. That time, Weiss getting it done.
And now it's the phenom, Carson Tyler, to serve. Vigil sends it up the middle there. Nadia Miller's attack won't go. A scramble for the ball. Snook just has to free ball it over. This time it'll go to the opposite side with Moreland, and another kill will fall for the true freshman.
What we saw in the Ohio match for Kent State was they went to McGuire very early and often. This time they're showing off some of their other options like Macy Moreland.
Katie Patterson comes in, the true freshman. She stands at just 5'5", but has made up for it with 166 digs. She's been sprawling all over the floor. Tyler receives. Green sets it up to Van Ort. Her first kill attempt is recovered by the libero. This time McGuire tries it, but Tyler recovers. Green, Weiss again. Brought up by Katie Patterson. This time up the middle from Miller, and it gets in the coffin corner where Kent State takes an early lead at 3-2.
I really like the look for Kent State with Nadia Miller. You're expecting her to come hard down the middle, but she just taps it over to that back line. Seeing Ball State was sleeping there, great look for Kent State.
Good touch from Miller. Patterson serves once again from Cuyahoga Falls, just by the Blossom Music Center. Carson Tyler responds with a back row attack of her own, and the Cardinals have knotted it up at 3 early.
Again, Ball State, they're varying up their attack, doing it with the back row with Carson Tyler. That would be your #1 option for a back row attack. I love it.
Now serving is Sophie Ledbetter, recovered easily by the Golden Flashes. McGuire's attack is just hit up by Gwen Kroll, and we stay alive. Back row attack from Carson Tyler. Gets in the coffin corner, untouched by the Flashes, and Ball State regains the lead.
That was very similar to what we saw from Kent earlier, but Carson Tyler that time, she did it in a really tough way going up high for it.
A couple quick back row attacks from Tyler, gives her 2 kills on the day. Attack there from the Flashes, recovered by Ball State. This time it'll be Snook. Bolognini's there to recover. McGuire again. Ledbetter can't collect. And the thunderous right arm of Mackenzie McGuire gets her first kill of the day, and she gets the reward of serving.
It goes to show how great Mackenzie McGuire is, because Sophie Ledbetter, one of the best liberos in the entire Mid-American Conference, that was too hard for her. That was great.
McGuire with 19 service aces. Kroll has to recover in the front row. Lateral action to Snook, recovered by Green. Tyler goes over her head. Van Ort, can the Cardinals respond? Just a little tip, but the Flashes recover. McGuire from the back row, effective tool, goes off the left hand of Noelle Van Ort. And Kent State strikes again.
The MVP of that possession for Kent State was Mercedes Brown, the transfer from Kansas City, Kansas Community College, with a block and a dig to keep it alive.
McGuire once more. Green this time lateral to Kroll, and that will land.
Dylan, how do you stop that? I mean, just how do you do that, especially when Green can really place it better than anybody in the Mid-American Conference, and Gwen Kroll in the middle, such a strong presence. How do you contain that if you're Kent State? I don't know.
Now coming in is Reese Axness, the second of the setter pair between her and Green. Whitlock also checks in for Tiffany Snook. Vigil sets it up. This time the attack is from Mercedes Brown. Axness, can the Cardinals respond with Noelle Van Ort? Yes, they can.
That's the big key. You got to get Noelle Van Ort working early. The last 2 matches, only a combined 11 kills. Get her going early.
Axness will serve from the far right side. Recovered, hit up way high by Katie Patterson. McGuire from the back row. Touched by Kroll. Ledbetter recovers. Tyler has to free ball it over. Vigil with the dump. Ledbetter tried to get it. Errant touch from Ledbetter, and Kent State brings us at 6-6 early in set 1.
Sure, maybe a little soft on that touch, but Sophie Ledbetter before heading a miraculous dive to keep it alive for Ball State, doing all she can, really.
Now getting the honors is Nadia Miller from the far left side. Ledbetter, Axness, just has to be free-balled over from Van Ort. Might be a missed opportunity as that attack goes for Abby Debevec. Ledbetter tries for the pancake, but into the Cardinal bench, and another point for Kent State.
Yeah, really sending that Ball State bench back. Ledbetter with a full steam ahead. But, man, Kent State really playing with that desperation early.
That serve just goes into the string, and Ball State retains possession.
Dylan, we both know you can't have that. Those errant mistakes, those errant serves. Another error that time for Kent State, the first on the day, but you just can't have that.
Certainly not against a team the likes of the Ball State Cardinals. Elizabeth Tabling checks in and serves it over. Recovered by Brenner. This time it's back to the Cardinals. Tyler's attack is completely shut down by Adeline Ginley.
The Marshall transfer has been so good this season for Kent State. Adeline Ginley, very solid with the blocking numbers. That's her 81st on the year.
Now serving, Christina Vigil, the productive setter. That falls wide, and the Cardinals once again get to serve off of the error from the setter. We're knotted up at 8-8 early. Dylan Budd, Roen Elbert here in Kent, Ohio, as Gwen Kroll serves it away. Brenner gets it to Vigil. This time the attack from Brown, recovered by Ball State. Tyler from the attack. Good touch there, but recovered by Kent State. This time it's Moreland. It's a scramble for the ball, and the Cardinals can't recover. Kent State is hanging on early, Roen.
Yeah, not only hanging on, but thriving with that 1-point lead, 9-8. Mackenzie McGuire with the dig to keep it alive that time. Man, the Golden Eagles really coming out with a lot of energy. I love the way they're playing.
Macy Moreland now has 3 kills, leads either side. That serves just a topper. Whitlock gets her first chance, and that'll fall home for Ball State.
Riley Whitlock is a player who has started the last few matchups. Didn't get the nod today, but still, Whitlock as a freshman has done so much for Ball State.
Whitlock and Green exchange places on the court. Green now serves. Vigil this time to McGuire. Infraction on Ball State, and Kent State is the first in double figures.
That's one of those things where you can't have if you're Ball State. Just touching up on the antenna, that's always going to go not your way.
Service now falls wide, and the Cardinals in double figures of their own. Van Ort checks in for Elizabeth Tabling, Carson Tyler will get the honor of serving. Tyler to kickstart the rally. Recovered by Kent State. Vigil sets it up the middle, but recovered by Ball State. Green now the other side to Snook. Brenner can collect it. Up the middle again, this time Nadia Miller, but the Cardinals. Snook again, goes off the arm of Haley Brenner, and the Flashes can't keep it alive. Ball State leads once more.
That's why you bring in Tiffany Snook from Memphis, one of the best freshmen in the AAC last year, just because of how hard she can knock it.
Registered as a middle blocker, she's usurped the role as an opposite hitter this year, though. Just a tip, pancake from Ledbetter. Van Oort tries to shut it down, no. A dump over from Nadia Miller is all the Flashes need, and we're back tied up at 11.
That's heads-up volleyball, Dylan. You don't have to be the setter to have the dump over. The middle blocker, Miller, saw the opening, just sent it right down.
Katie Patterson gets to serve once more. 18 digs in her last 3. She had 4 in her last game against Ohio. Collected by Van Oort. Green sends it to Weiss down aisle 3. That'll go. Just been neck and neck so far, Roen.
It really has been, especially with the middle blockers going mano a mano. Love it.
Ledbetter now serves from the near right side. Collected by Patterson. The attack from McGuire. Double block from Kroll and Snook. The Cardinals recover. This time it's Snook again off the hands of McGuire. Vigil. This time on a slide action to Miller. Shut down from Van Oort. She gets the chance to block again. And that Miller attack falls wide into La La Land, and the Cardinals score again.
La La Land is right, far too strong, and those are those attacking errors that really come back to bite you. Ball State on a bit of a run now, 13-11.
Ledbetter begins the rally. Vigil now to McGuire. Who else? Ledbetter somehow saves it. Now it's Van Oort. Completely smacks it home past the flash off position, and the Cardinals are on a roll with the largest lead of the game, 14-11 in set 1.
With the way Van Oort hit that, I thought it was going to go long, but really she just hit it so hard on the back line. Perfect.
Ledbetter gets another chance to serve. Slide action now to Miller, but that falls way wide into the first row of the stands. Timeout taken by Kent State, and the Cardinals find themselves on a roll ahead 11-15.
Well, you're looking at it this way. Kent State, not too long ago, they led 10-9. They were in a really solid position, but Ball State has gone on a very solid run, 6-1. And it's really due in large part to the attacking errors on Kent State's part. That service error from Nadia Miller kind of started this run for the Cardinals. And now here we are for Ball State, where they're really pulling ahead in set 1. I love the way Kent State came out with the intensity, but it's those little mistakes that have really come back to bite them.
Cardinals now halfway to winning the opening set. They've won all but 2 of the first sets in action, both of those games being against Ohio. The first one, they came back in a 3-2 reverse sweep. The second was that sweep that Ohio had against the Cardinals. That was the only MAC loss for Ball State so far.
Yeah, and for the Cardinals, you can tell it hurt, and you can tell that they've come back kind of with a vengeance in a sense, you could say. That's kind of what those midweek matchups kind of serve as. The weekend series will always be the big thing in volleyball. But that little one-off midweek action like Ball State had against Miami, midweek action, it really serves its purpose as a refresh for the Cardinals and a reset for them to be put in a solid position going into a road matchup against Kent State where you really don't know what to expect. But if Ball State, if they can continue to capitalize off of the Golden Flash's mistakes, then they'll be in the driver's seat for quite some time.
Glad you mentioned midweek action. On Wednesday, the Cardinal football team will welcome Kent State to the Schumann Stadium in another installation of midweek action. But here in Kent, Ohio, Sophie Ledbetter gets us back underway. Patterson recovers. Vigil the set. McGuire, can they score off the timeout? Yes, they can.
That's how you come out of a timeout right there if you're Kent State. You come out with a lot of energy, and you come out just hitting the ball as hard as you can down the middle. That's exactly what you have to do, and the Golden Flash is executed perfectly.
McGuire gets the reward of serving. Recovered by Van Oort. Green, this time the opposite side to Snook. Effective tool there from the Memphis transfer.
If you're attacking on the near side, what you're going to see is just trying to get a touch because you know it's not going to really sneak in. That's exactly what Tiffany Snook did, put a lot of mustard on that. It got down.
Axness and Whitlock return. Green and Snook check out. Quick attack, go ball to Mercedes Brown, recovered by Tyler, gets free balled over after the effort from Ledbetter and Axness. Now it's Brown again, touched up by Whitlock, hit up by Axness, and Van Oort gets the attack. Brenner collects. Now, Nadia Miller. It's her turn, but Ledbetter recovers. Axness setting it up to Van Oort. Gets it way wide. Cardinals want a tip, and they get it. Cardinals now have a 5-point lead, ahead 17-12. Timeout is called by Kent State and Coach Eckerman. Find themselves down 17-12 in set one after they really were neck and neck to get this game underway, but leading the way in kills for either team is still Macy Moreland with 4, hitting at an effective 66.7%. As for the Cardinals, it's Noelle Van Oort hitting 37.5 with 3 kills to her name.
Yeah, like with Mackenzie McGuire, you have to get her more involved. I like what they're doing with Moreland, having the freshman kind of be the focal point of the attack. But Mackenzie McGuire has to be who you go to time and time again. That's why she's been one of the best outside hitters in the Mid-American Conference ever since she stepped foot in it her freshman year. I mean, if you go back to her freshman season against Ball State for Kent State, that was the only time where she never had double-digit kills against Ball State. Since then, 3+ performances with double-digit kills against the Cardinals, looking to continue that streak and what will more than likely be the final time McGuire plays the Cardinals. I mean, other than tomorrow night. But for Mackenzie McGuire, you really have to focus the attack on her. Maybe Ball State was ready for her. Just rotate her around the net, get her looks anywhere you can.
McGuire has 3 kills and 9 attacks, also 3 digs to her name, but with those collections, it should be noted that Sophie Ledbetter has 6 digs already in her one game against Kent State last year, matching that number of 6 digs, also with 3 assists. So far, doesn't have any today, but we're back underway after the brief intermission. Reese Axness will serve from the far right side. Her offering goes across the timeline. We're back underway. V-Hill to Brown. Tyler recovers. Almost goes off the Jumbotron. Van Oort, can she respond? No. Bump there from Nadia Miller. Mercedes Brown just touches it over, a bit of a push, and that's just enough for Kent State to respond.
I like what Kent State's doing, using the middle blockers as playmakers. We saw it with Miller before, and she did it again right there, setting up for the big kill.
Now Miller gets the honor of serving. Just hits the top of the net. This time, the attack goes to Noelle Van Oort, and she slams it home.
This is a reawakening for Noelle Van Oort. She's really been waiting to be unleashed. The last 2 matches, only a combined 11 kills. But Noelle Van Oort, this is a player that she was due. We knew it.
She had 7 against Miami, hoping for more today. Elizabeth Tabling checks in, and she serves it over. Renner, V-Hill, now Brown again. Why not stick with the hot hand? But no, the Cardinals recover. Carson Tyler on the left side, somehow recovered, but a dump over by V-Hill keeps it going. Whitlock on the opposite side. It sails just to the right and out of bounds. Kent State scores again.
Once again, if you're attacking that near side, you're hoping for a touch, but Kent State knew that, and they knew it was probably going to play out, so they just stayed away, and that got them the point.
You await the serve from Christina V-Hill, recovered by Ledbetter. Axness now to Tyler again. Yes, that'll go. Carson Tyler skywalks to get the kill.
Really climbing the ladder to get there, laying down the hammer. That's why Carson Tyler is one of the best in the game.
Been excellent all year for this team and for the conference. Gwen Krull now gets to serve. V-Hill dishes it to Moreland, just touched by the blockers Weiss and Whitlock. Whitlock gets her chance to respond, but it's recovered by Brown. Now, McGuire from the back row. Whitlock cannot gather, and Kent State scores again.
That's what you'll see from McGuire. Maybe you can get a finger on it, but surely you can't corral it, especially when she's coming in hot from the back row, full steam ahead, really tough to contain.
With enough power, such as Mackenzie McGuire, there's not much you can do. Serve there from Bolognini. Axness to Tyler, just tapped over, but Weiss keeps the rallier alive. Tyler this time can't extinguish. It's a scramble for the ball. Tabling with the spike over. No kills to her name just yet. and that will remain. Axnis can't corral, and Kent State finds themselves with a little bit of momentum. It's 19-16.
You think about it this way, Kent State's one of the best blocking teams. How do you contribute that to offense? That's how you turn it around with the middle blockers.
They're currently 4th in the MAC, as low or as high as 2nd, but Bolognini's serve goes into the lattice. Green and Snook check back in. Green will serve. And Whitlock and Axnis find themselves back on the bench. Green serves from the far right side. B. Hill, this time to McGuire again. Pushes over, but collected by Ledbetter. Just tapped over from Green. We go to McGuire again. Double block. Just goes over the outstretched arm of Sophie Ledbetter. It's now 2017. Kent advantage.
Even though that didn't go Ball State's way, Lindsey Green did a great job keeping that ball alive, knowing that, hey, there's still a third touch to be had, just tapping it right over when there's a scrumble.
Haley Brenner with her 2 1/4 digs per set. Nadia Miller tries for the spike, but Ledbetter with yet another dig. Carson Tyler's attempt won't go. Tabling, Green, Snook. That'll land for Ball State, and Snook has herself yet another kill.
Greta Bolognini had a great dig there, but Carson Tyler hit it so hard that it just went right back to Ball State's side of the net. It was really tough, and I think we're getting official review now. I think it's whether that ball was able to tuck in on that near side for Snook. I was kind of hesitant to say whether it was in or out. I think the officials were as well, so they're going to take a look at it.
Gotta tell you, I was going for the call. I couldn't see if it was going in or out, if it landed past the stripe or not, but it gives both of these coaches a chance to confer with their teams.
Well, you have to think about it this way. Yeah, yes, it is an opportunity for the coaches to talk to their players, get them on the same page, especially with Ball State being 4 points away from winning set 1. But also, you have to look at it from a review standpoint of, is it enough evidence to overturn? And the call on the floor was Ball State point. Tiffany Snook on the inbound, that's always a tough one to call. If you have the right camera angle, I mean, props to this ESPN Plus crew here for Kent State that probably got the angle, you would hope. It comes down to just, do you have the proper evidence to overturn? And on those like 50-50 plays like that, I don't know if they will.
Our head official, Drew Puckren, standing over the press row, looking at our replay system. Make sure they get the right call. Still some conversation between coaches and players, between officials and replay. Looks like we've got a little bit of a dance-off going here at the MAC Center.
Dylan? I'm kidding. You would beat me every time.
No,
I'll give you that.
I don't know, Roen. I'm not the dancing type.
Oh, me either. That's another thing we have in common, I guess.
Oh, we've got Darius Garland doing some sort of dance on the Jumbotron. This has been fun. Gotta love the fan engagement here at Kent State, Ohio. 4.5 hours away from where we normally stay, at the friendly confines of Worthen Arena.
Wait, don't the Cavs have a game tonight? Shouldn't he be there?
Man, none of these fans, especially none of these adults, want to get up and bust a jig.
Oh, it makes me want to.
Unfortunate.
Not really.
You should, Roen. And after conferring with the officials, Kent State gets the call overturned. It'll be 2018 Cardinal advantage.
That's big. It really makes a big difference to have it be Ball State 4 points away to 5 points away. It really does make a big difference. Kent State within 2. Huge for the Golden Flashes.
And now Haley Brenner, the sophomore, gets a chance to serve. She leads the team in service aces with 25. Also leads in errors with 32. She serves from the far left side, and we're back underway. Tabling, Green, Carson Tyler, the double block, but recovered by Kent State. That time it's McGuire, but Tabling picks it up. Green to Weiss up the middle, and that'll go. Points to her setter, perfectly placed from Green, and the Cardinals get the kill.
Well, how do you respond after a review doesn't quite go your way? Exactly like that, going aggressive with the middle blocker.
This time to serve is Carson Tyler. Now it'll be on the opposite side to Moreland, but recovered by Tyler. She sprawls on the floor. Snook gets a chance to respond, and she capitalizes. Tiffany Snook has been excellent today. That's her 3rd kill.
That's big. She had a kill taken away from her, gets it right back, and now Ball State within 3.
Timeout is taken by Kent State. Looks like Coach Eckerman wanted a chance to talk it over. Coach Kelly Miller-Phillips of Ball State conferring with her middle hitter or opposite hitter, whatever you want to call it, but Tiffany Snook. And she's got a really interesting story at Memphis last year, but her high school was Hamilton Southeastern, similar to her teammate Sophie Ledbetter, the libero. When Snook entered the transfer portal, Ledbetter said, hey, you could come over here to Ball State, and Snook did just that. Now the two get to be teammates once more.
Even though we're not at Worthen Arena tonight, I have to highlight that a pair of state titles won for HSC with Snook and Ledbetter. Those were won at Worthen Arena. So a lot of history in that building already before they even step foot on campus.
It's 22-18. Ball State has the lead. SportsLink Digital Radio, Dylan, Bud, Roen, Elbert have the pleasure of getting this call in. We'll be here tomorrow as well for the second game in this pair between Ball State and Kent State. Two birds facing off, the Cardinals and the Golden Eagles. We saw Flash roaming around the stands a little bit earlier, but can't see him today. Looks like he's dressed as a wizard, Roen.
A wizard? I thought he was going with more of the George Washington look. Maybe it's a wizard. It's all about perspective, Dylan. I think that's what it is.
It certainly was a funny hat. So could be mystical and magical, but also could be colonial. Now Carson Tyler gets us back. McGuire recovers. Nadia Miller, but Tyler says no. Green, this time to Weiss, and she has another kill up the middle.
Not many players hit it as hard as Cam Weiss does, and that's the perfect example right there.
Weiss has been so good but efficient, hitting .381, first in the conference. Tyler's attempt goes into the network, and Kent State will find a chance to serve once more.
A rare service error for Carson Tyler, but hey, you're still within 2. Kent State yet to get to 20. You're in a good position.
Patterson, the freshman, will bring it underway. Ledbetter, Green, Weiss up the middle. Somehow recovered by Kent State after an excellent effort, meaning at the stripe. Now it'll be Van Ort past the double block, but hit off the hands of Katie Patterson. McGuire, her chance. Tool there for the senior, and Kent State is clawing their way back to set 1.
Kent State, one of the better blocking teams. When there's a joust at the net, very tough for them to really compete for Ball State.
Patterson brings it underway. It'll be Tiffany Snook with another kill. That time in the coffin corner, untouched by the hometown Flashes.
Now within 1, it's set point for the Cardinals. Really big set. Some of the Ball State fans still doing their set point dance.
Ledbetter with the serve, recovered by Brenner. It'll go to Nadia Miller. Van Ort gets it tipped off her hands. It went off the Jumbotron, but Gwen Kroll tries the attack. No, McGuire facing Kroll and Snook, and they stonewall the senior. The Cardinals win set 1, 25-20.
Man, was that big for Ball State just to get that first set, because really Kent State, you're going to see the best from them in set 1. That was kind of the expectation, at least on my end, that they play some of their best volleyball in set 1. Now, here we go into set 2. How do they respond after being so close, within 5 of winning that first set, especially against a Ball State team that, hey, they're coming out with a lot of fire. They're red hot right now as they've been throughout MAC play. How do you respond in set 2? We'll have to wait and see.
For us, we are going to have to wait and see more action. Just 2.5 minutes until we see set 2. But you're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. We'll take a short break.
Well, together, we're all in it together. And I said it in my press conference, it's not just the players, it's not just the coaches, it's the administration, it's the trainers, it's the strength staff, it's the alumni coming back, it's the people in the community supporting our program.
Together to me is just moving as one cohesive unit.
I feel like I could just go back to like our conditioning, like our workouts together.
You're building a lifelong brotherhood with this team.
When I hear that word, it fires me up because I feel like it explains, football in a sense.
New episode of Together is out now.
You're listening to Ball State Volleyball, streaming live with SportsLink Digital.
Now back to the arena.
Back to the arena indeed, but not the one we generally know. Generally at Worthen Arena, but this time we made the 4.5-hour drive to the Mack Center in Kent, Ohio. Gotta say, it's been a lot of fun so far, Roen.
No, it was a fun drive, and also, I mean, a few missed exits, but oh well, that's on me. I'm the driver here, but I will say this about Kent State and their campus. Beautiful. Really, on a fall day in Ohio, you kind of feel like you know what to expect, but here, it's just really a beautiful campus. I have to give them credit. We were kind of exploring around the concourse of the Mack Center as well. A lot of history here, not even outside of volleyball, with basketball as well on the men's and women's side. A lot of history has happened in this building. Great venue, really a great campus.
To our right is the banner for Antonio Gates. Played here from 2001 to 2003, wearing number 44. He gets his jersey honored in the rafters, but not known as a basketball player. Roen went undrafted and signed with the San Diego Chargers at the time, and is now a Hall of Fame tight end with the 4th most receiving yards out of any tight end in the history of the league.
Hey, the rest is history for sure. Antonio Gates, that's one of his many stops. I mean, that's one of 3 schools he played for in the MAC, Kent State, and it's cool to see his number out there, especially with a few other Kent State legends. And for volleyball, you look at Mackenzie McGuire, 6th all-time in kills for the Golden Flashes. I think there's a good chance, especially if the Golden Flashes can mount a comeback in the MAC standings, somehow if they win out and get a little bit of help, make the MAC tournaments go on a run. Hey, maybe we see that number 11 hanging up there.
Amongst the All-American frames that we got to see also was Jack Lambert, one of the linebackers of the Steel Curtain defense, fronted by Chuck Knoll. But let's get back to volleyball, shall we? Lindsey Green now serves from the near left side. Cardinals go to the left. Kent State attacks that side as well. First kill attempt recovered by Ball State after a scramble. Just has to be free-balled over by Ledbetter. V-Hill now gets it to Moreland, but stuffed by Tyler and Weiss.
That's one of the most underrated parts about Carson Tyler's game, but that's her 42nd block of the season. In the 40s in that, what can't Carson Tyler do? That's the real question.
One of the better defensive outside hitters in the MAC, as Coach Eckerman has a conversation with our head official, Drew Puckren. Looks like a green card is pulled out, and we will go under review. So another discussion here between our friends in the replay booth and Drew Puckren.
Typically when it's at the net like that, you're looking for any kind of obstruction. Was there any touching of the antenna? Stuff like that. It looked like it was clean. I think it's going to be tough to overturn, but you always have to look at it. And Haley Eckerman trying to do all she can because you want to get the first point in a set. That's all you really need to do to get a hot start to a set. Just get that first point. Haley Eckerman, she's been there before. She knows how important it is. And now for Ball State, it comes down to, is there enough evidence to overturn it against the Cardinals? In my eyes, I don't think so, Dylan.
We've got another dance-off here in the replay timeout. Our friends at Flash Vision rather than Chirp Vision at Worthen Arena. Some of the Golden Flashes on the Kent State bench doing the line dance for Cotton Eye Joe. I think I've seen it all, Roen.
Yeah, we really have. I mean, it's been a night where, I mean, Halloween night, you never really know what to expect. But also, maybe what we didn't expect was Kent State in that first set, keeping it within 5. That was something that I didn't expect for the most part. I knew Kent State was going to come out red hot in the first set, but maybe not to the extent where they were, I mean, going into the 10th point, they were the first to double digits. That's always one of the emphasis for a coach is, hey, you got to be the first to 10 points. You got to be the first to 15 points. And Kent State was there at that 10 mark, but it was costly mistakes that gave the Cardinals that 6-1 run that really had them pull away in set 1. But also Kent State, they kept it close. I mean, 25-20. You're not going to hang your head on that, but you have to move on from that, and you have to be better in set 2.
It's a race to those milestones. 10 points, 15 points, 20-25, like you said, but the name of the game so far has been efficiency. Ball State 17 kills to Kent State 16. It's been pretty even, but when you look at the attack percentage, that's where the discretion lies. 33% for Ball State as opposed to Kent State's 22. Whistle blows and point goes to Ball State. Looked like Coach Eckerman wanted a touch at the net or a net violation. We hear the discussion now, but no dice from Tyler or Weiss. As we can hear the discussion going on. Clapping here at the Max Center. Roen, Coach Eckerman, last game was her 100th game coach as a Kent State Golden Flash on that loss to Ohio Tuesday, hoping to capitalize on a win today where they've been pretty neck and neck, but the Moreland attack sails wide and Ball State has an early lead in set 2, 2-0. Green sends it over once more. This time it'll be to McGuire right in front of us, and it hits the coffin corner untouched for another kill for the senior.
That's where Kent State's gotten a lot of their points, attacking the back line of Ball State, just sneaking it in there like McGuire just did.
Brenner now gets the honor of sending us into another rally. Van Oort, misplaced bump, has to be free-balled over by Tyler. We go to the opposite side now, and it's slammed home by Macy Moreland. She leads the way in kills now with 8.
Macy Moreland, man, what a run she's having this match, really, for Kent State being the go-to option.
She's had 19 kills in her last 3. Just 3 kills in her last game, already topping it at 8. Bit of a scramble for the ball as there's a big boom from Carson Tyler. Cards wanted a tip, don't get it. Kent State will get the point.
Hey, you always have to look at that for Ball State as an option of, hey, hit it as hard as you can, hope it sneaks in on the back line, and hope there's maybe a touch. I think we might be getting a review, and yes, we are.
Lindsey Green very quickly walked over to her head coach, Kelly Miller-Phillips, moved her fingers around in a motion that would say, hey, Kent State tipped that ball. Kelly Miller-Phillips looks at her player, and with the trust of her squad, immediately pulls out the green card. We are again under review. A lot of stoppages in this one, but a chance to thwart any momentum for either side.
It's all about trust, really. When you see a player that says, hey, I think we can really get a challenge at this, you kind of have to trust them because they have that first view vantage point. They're on the floor. They really see it. They could see stuff that maybe you wouldn't see, especially Lindsey Green, a player who's been really smart on the floor as a setter. She knows the game, has a high IQ.
Now, turning over to the Cardinal bench, on that last serve from Kent State, there was a collision between Ledbetter and Van Oort, and the latter is working out her right leg, jumping up and down. A little bit of stretches to her hip, something to watch. We hope she's okay. Certainly don't want it to impact any jump, any kill attempts, but she's having a laugh with her teammate, the libero Ledbetter. Hasn't gone off the court. Hopefully she's all right, and it seems to be.
Yeah, that's one of those freak things where you never want to see it. Hopefully everything all right on that end. But for Ball State right now, this would be a great chance for them to win their first challenge. Their last challenge didn't quite go their way. This would be huge for them to win that battle.
Still some conversation between our officials and our replay friends. Roen, there are 6 Cardinals with attacks, and it just shows how many offensive weapons that Ball State has. And you know, Kelly Miller-Phillips and her squad might have to have a little bit of a gubernatorial to decide who gets the heaviest workload every single game. It's just, we've seen so many different options in Carson Tyler, Gwen Kroll, Noelle Van Oort, Tiffany Snook, almost in double digits with 9 of her own. There's so many weapons on this Ball State offense, and it makes them so productive.
You really have to think about it that way. You kind of have to have that committee of coaches to think about, hey, who do you go to?
Whistle blown, tip is called, and Ball State gets the point.
That's big for momentum right there. For Ball State to come out of that 2-2 break, to get the point that could have gone Kent State's way, they would have had all the momentum.
And now Carson Tyler brings us back after the stoppage. It'll go to Moreland, but she is rejected at the net by Van Oort and Weiss.
Hey, who says Van Oort can't get up there? She has been really solid at the net as well with over 20 blocks. Really great effort.
Assisted by Weiss, who leads the team in blocks with 78. That attack there from Nadia Miller can't be collected by Tyler, and it is 4-3. Cardinals with a narrow lead.
When you see the blocker like Nadia Miller right there middle of the net with the attack, if you're Lindsey Green, it's always tough to contain it.
Katie Patterson comes in. She has 5 games with 10 digs, including 3 in a row from October 10th to the 17th. The Cardinals has responded with a snook attack. She was falling away, and it still went down.
Yeah, off balance. You're thinking you might not get enough power on that with that slide action, but it's still able to get down, hit the floor. Great effort.
Now it'll be the libero Ledbetter. Covered by the flashes. Will be up the middle to Nadia Miller. Ill-placed set, but she is rewarded and redeems herself with a block one-on-one with Gwen Kroll.
Yeah, that's a great matchup. Miller against Kroll, Miller against Weiss. I mean, whatever way you want to split it. But right there, Miller gets the best of the blockers. I really like that matchup.
Now Mackenzie McGuire brings us underway. Van Oort now to Green. This time Van Oort again, the graduate. Collected by Kent State. Back row attack from McGuire and Kroll. This time she can redeem. She and Van Oort get the stuff.
Now you see Ball State going to a look where you bring in the opposite and Kristen Ashby, also Reese Axness in to serve it across. When you bring in Ashby, you just want a strong net presence, and she can really bring that with her height.
Ashby has been excellent in the blocking department. She comes in rather than Riley Whitlock, really just comes in high leverage situations. Kroll will try to attack, but Brenner recovers. Dump over from Christina Vigil. It's her 50th kill.
That is big for Kent State, the dump over game. One of my favorite parts about volleyball, just that quick little dump over. Ball State doesn't really incorporate it as much. The Golden Flashes do it well.
Nadia Miller, we just saw her get a stuff a couple points ago. Scramble for the ball, and it's a service ace for the middle blocker. Her 11th on the year.
That's one where for Ball State you have to have it. Always tough to get a hold of it.
It's now 6-6. Knotted up in the second set. Kent State hanging with the top of the MAC Cardinals, but Miller's serve goes far, and Ball State will retain.
That's always the toughest thing. After you get a service ace, how do you go back the next time? And it's quite often where you'll see an error after the fact.
Up next is Elizabeth Tabling. She's got 9 service aces to 10 errors. The pride of Edgewood, Kentucky flies it over. Brenner, Vigil, now to Mercedes Brown. Drives through the block, and Kent State gets the point, 7-7.
Yeah, one of the first times we're calling her name. That's her 3rd kill right there. Mercedes Brown, another JUCO product that Eckerman has really relied upon this season.
She's found many diamonds in the rough. Many of these players transfers from junior and community colleges. We're back underway, and Gwen Kroll on the lateral action, somehow recovered by Vigil. Brown's attack, this time it'll go.
There's Mercedes Brown once again coming from a Texas community college. Haley Eckerman has some great connections there. These coaches, they watched her play at the University of Texas. They know all about her. They have those connections. That's how she's been able to get such great JUCO talent.
Kent State has 22 kills to Ball State's 19, and there's another service ace off the arm of Christina Vigil. Just couldn't be collected by Tabling, who's had her struggles with reception. 12 errors on the year, now her 13th. That time she can redeem. Axness to Tyler on the left side, that'll go. It'll go just wide, excuse me. And Kent State gets the point, the first in double figures of set 2. They lead 10-7.
Yeah, the initial call was in Ball State's direction, but they look at each other, they point over to Kent.
There's some conversing between the officials. The home team gets the point. Ledbetter keeps it alive. Tyler free balls it over. It'll get to the opposite side of the net. Cardinals are scrambling, and McGuire takes advantage.
Now Kent State all of a sudden really in control, a 4-point lead. Who could have expected this? I think they're making me eat my words. I said that the first set is really the most energy you'll see from a team and probably the best Kent State would play. I think I'm wrong, Dylan. 11-7, what a great run they've come out of, especially after reviews as well. After any kind of stoppage of play, Kent State's always the first one to get the point. It's been so great for them coming out of those breaks and being able to capitalize on the little bit of rest you have. That's one of the great things that Haley Eckerman does.
It is all smiles on the Kent State bench as Coach Eckerman confers with her squad. But looking at the Cardinal roster, there are a few names on offense that have been missing all year. The likes of Katie Eganoff, Anaya Kennedy, and Madison Buckley, all offensive presences that have been missed. Eganoff hitting .462 against Kent, Anaya Kennedy .250, and .314 for Madison Buckley. All presences that have been missed, but an excellent job from the Cardinals this year to have different players fill in. Most notably, Noelle Van Ort, who comes from Indiana Tech, an NAIA school, transitioned from not even a division level all the way to D1, and the transition has been seamless.
It really has been seamless because when you lose players like Eganoff, Kennedy, and Buckley, these are three players that last season combined for over 7 kills per set. That's a big loss right there. Noelle Van Ort, it's impossible to fill the shoes of 3 different players, but certainly she's had that kind of production. She's kind of equaled the production of a Kennedy or an Eganoff or a Buckley, especially as an outside hitter. She's been very strong at the net. What a great talent.
The three have 42 combined kills against Kent State. Certainly some presences you miss, but we are back after the serve from Christina Vigil. Up the middle to Crow, but Adeline Ginley says no on her 81st block. She is 9th in the conference, and at 6'3", the towering presence has been excellent. Miller serves from the far right side. It goes straight into the net, and the Cardinals now have a chance to build momentum off the right arm of Gwen Kroll.
So once again, Kent State wins the first point coming out of the timeout, but then that error, it's costly.
Normally the Cardinals have been productive off timeouts. This time Kent State. Dump over from Vigil, but the Cardinals get the point. Called a double hit from the setter. Kroll will rise again. Kroll, her offering, picked up by Brown. Now we go to Moreland. She's been productive, but that one goes way far into Narnia, and the Cardinals are back at double-digit points.
Another costly error, because you were looking at a 12-8 matchup, now all of a sudden cut in half just in a matter of minutes.
Just a little too much English from the true freshman. Now up the middle to Ginley. She has another kill. 2 points for Adeline Ginley in 4 rallies.
How about this for Kent State? The rallies they've had, for sure, like you said, but also just right now, coming out from any kind of adversity like Ball State brought right there and coming back strong.
Now serving is Greta Bolognini from Bergamo, Italy. International player, her serve goes far, and the Cardinals will get the serve once more. We're closer in margin now, 13-11. The Golden Flashes have the advantage. Coming back in to serve is Lindsey Green. Tiffany Snook returns as well. McGuire recovers. This time the attack from Moreland in the back row. Tabling can pick it up. Carson Tyler off the double block. Kept alive from Bolognini, and McGuire extinguishes the rally.
The Cardinals had something great going right there. Cam Wise served as a decoy for a Tyler attack. That usually works, but Kent State was ready for it. They've been watching film. Haley Eckerman's prepped their players, and here we are right now. Kent State ahead by 3.
Number's been called several times, is delivered in almost all of them. Brenner now serves. Tyler, Green, to Tyler again. Perfect tip, but Vigil gets the dig. Now it's Moreland. Stuffed by Carson Tyler, but it falls out of bounds, and Kent State gets the point.
Now a 4-point Golden Flashes advantage. I wouldn't think I would expect that, but the strong net presence has really gone back in Kent State's favor.
Flash, the Golden Eagle, is back on the prowl as his team has all the momentum. Green, now to Snook. Somehow kept up by Haley Brenner. Bumped by Vigil, and McGuire will still get an attack. Ledbetter, Green up the middle to Weiss. Recovered by Vigil. Now Nadia Brown gets the set. McGuire just tips it over. Tabling. Green, a snook lateral movement. Vigil recovers, but it goes on the opposite side of the net. Dump over by Lindsey Green. That'll go. It's her 26th kill in a dump you don't see very often on this Ball State offense.
Back to one of my favorite plays in all of volleyball, the dump over for Lindsey Green. Man, is that big. And looks like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe there's some blood spot, I think, on the jerseys of one of the Kent State players. So we have a stoppage. But it gives us more time to appreciate that great play from Lindsey Green. It comes down as a setter, having the eye, kind of being the quarterback of the attack if you're Ball State with Lindsey Green, seeing where the opening is and taking full advantage.
Green has been excellent in captaining the offense all year long. She leads the team in assists with 7.3 per set, a total of 695 on the year, 6th in the conference. But looks like they're checking for some red on these Kent State white jerseys, yellow sleeves, navy blue lettering. For the Cardinals, it's their black jerseys, red numbers, white trim. As for the liberos, Brenner, the Kent State libero, is in navy with the golden lettering. As for Sophie Ledbetter, white jersey, red lettering, black trim.
You can never be too safe when it comes to infection control. That's exactly what it is. You got the infection control specialist out there coming out with the gloves, just making sure there's no kind of blood, no kind of cuts on the players. That's the big thing. No kind of wound, where they're good to go and ready to play.
Brianna Failer stops any flow of blood. We say thanks to her, and we're back underway after Carson Tyler. Her offering crosses the timeline. Or not. Hits the top of the net, falls on the Cardinals side, and Kent State leads 16-12.
Well, she at least attempted to. These errors are really coming back to bite Ball State, kind of what Kent State had in the first set. The Cardinals have to be better with the serve across.
Patterson now serves, comes in off the bench for this rotation. Tyler. Green to Snook on a lateral movement, but Mackenzie McGuire says no. The flashes surround her for her 37th block, and the Cardinals are stunned. Timeout taken by Ball State. The flashes erupt at the MAC Center.
Man, have they been strong, especially when you force another timeout and you know how great Kent State has been coming outside the timeouts. The Golden Flashes are just controlling this second set, especially with their strong presence up front, like we saw with that Mackenzie McGuire block. It hasn't just been her. We've seen it from Mercedes Brown. We've seen it from Macy Moreland. Also with the blocking, Nadia Miller has been very strong. Of course, Adeline Ginley, one of their top blockers, top 10 in the MAC in blocks. I have to say, though, Kent State in the second set, they proved a lot of people wrong, just coming out with more energy than the first. Something you really don't see as often, more energy in the second compared to the first. But here we are, and they're in full force, full throttle, on pace to win this second set and even it up.
If we take a look at attack percentages, Kent State leads the way for the first time today at 23.5 to Ball State's 22.8. Flash has returned in celebration, and these Golden Flashes on the court will return to their side of the net. Ball State still in conversation, but this is a chance to look at the rest of these teams' schedules. We've got these pair of games between Ball State and Kent State, but after that, Kent State will travel to the second-seeded Western Michigan before facing NIU at home to close out the regular season. Now, as for Ball State, after this pair of Kent State games, they travel to Eastern Michigan, third to last in the conference, and then they will go back home to face Central Michigan in an ESPN broadcast that you and I, Roen, will have the pleasure to call to close out the MAC tournament. Weiss off the immediate attack, but Kent State brings it back over. She gets another chance, but a diving effort by Bolognini keeps it alive. McGuire recovered by Green. Just has to be freeballed over by the setter. Will they go to McGuire again? No, this time it's Moreland.
Kent State's been pitch perfect at ending these Ball State rallies. Another example right there.
Patterson gets to serve once more, and these home Flashes have all of the momentum right now. Patterson serves from the far right side. Serve mishandled from Tyler. Can the Cardinals keep it alive? No. It's 19-12. Kent State with their largest lead at any point today.
Well, a 7-point advantage. Ball State just hasn't been able to handle these strong touches, especially in the latter half.
Patterson has had a lot of chances to serve today. She gets one more, knuckleballed over. Again mishandled, it just is tapped over from McGuire. Easy pickings for the senior, and Kent State is the first to 20.
It's all about creating a strong net presence, which Ball State hasn't really done in this second set, creating that opening right at the midcourt, giving Kent State that point.
5 points away from taking a set against the best of the conference. Green now to Weiss. Can't be collected by V-Hill, and the Cardinals respond.
Yeah, getting that off of the deflection for Ball State right there, off of that deflection is big, just clawing their way back slowly but surely.
Considered a tool, Ledbetter sends it over. V-Hill now dumps it over again! Mixing it up is this Kent State offense, and it's why they're ahead 21-13.
Those are openings and those are alleys that you cannot let up if you're Ball State. Having the middle of the floor wide open just can't happen, especially when the setter is in prime position.
No more timeouts for Kelly Miller-Phillips. No more chances to talk it over. Gwen Kroll tries for her own and gets it.
Katie Patterson was in good position for Kent State, down on a knee to get it, just couldn't quite corral it. Knowing how hard Kroll can hit it, it kind of makes sense.
Coming in once more is Axness and Ashby. Rather than Whitlock, we've seen Ashby usurp the role as opposite hitter in this second set. McGuire, no. Now the chance for Nadia Miller on the right side. Kroll keeps it alive. She won't get the attack. It'll be Carson Tyler who slams it into the first row. What a response from the sophomore.
And that is why you have a back row attack like that, especially with Carson Tyler, where not many can hit it harder than her.
Her 17th attack lands true. The serve from Axness can't be corralled by McGuire. Cardinals are fighting back now. Just down 5 at 21-16. Axness serves from the near left side. McGuire can get it this time. V-Hill gets it up to Mercedes Brown. Somehow Ledbetter collects. It'll be Riley Whitlock. Outstanding dig there from Kent State. McGuire responds and lands at home. She's been ridiculous today.
It's been unreal what Mackenzie McGuire has been able to do, especially in set 2, really being the focal point compared to set 1 for Kent State, ending that rally and widening the gap for the Golden Flashes.
McGuire had just 8 kills in that last game against Ohio. Now has 10, the first of either team in double figures. Serve there from Nadia Miller. Whitlock gets another chance, and she tips it over. Just enough, a little tap will do for Ball State.
Hey, you have two opposites out there with Whitlock and Ashby. Well, not anymore. Whitlock is subbed out after that, but that's a crucial point for Ball State, and that's the kind of the pro of having both of them out there.
Elizabeth Tabling comes in. She got the nod in that Miami game to start. Tyler tries to slam it, but blocked by V-Hill, and the rally stays alive. Another block attempt from her won't go. This time the attack from Ashby, no! Adeline Ginley and Mercedes Brown stuff the attack from the graduate.
Kent State at the net, we knew they were good, but I don't know if we really expected it to be this way, where they've really dominated up front against Ball State in the trenches.
Kent State is 2 points away from evening up this matchup. V-Hill serves. Ledbetter, Axness, Tyler. Kent State keeps it alive. This time, Moreland, yes! Thunderous kill from Mackenzie Moreland, and the Flashes find themselves 1 point away. V-Hill now gets the chance to serve. That goes way wide. Cardinals live to see another point.
I know it's tough to think about, but yeah, live to see another point. You gotta get 7 more. That's what you have to think about.
Now Gwen Kroll will get the chance to serve. Transfer from Bowling Green University, offers it over. Ginley the attack, and that will land. Ball State in shock. Kent State wins set 2, and we are evened up.
How about this That's the first set that Kent State has won against Ball State, not only in the Haley Eckerman era in her third season, but also the first set that Kent State has won against Ball State since September of 2021. Man, the Golden Flashes was such a great set here in number 2.
Roen, with that in mind, we have to take a look at the series history. Amidst these teams all time, Ball State leads 45-18. Here at the Mack Center, the Cardinals lead 18-9. Even worse, a 23-7 advantage for the Cardinals at Worthen Arena. Ball State has won the last 5 all-in sweeps. The last time Kent State won was in 2021. Before that stretch, they had won 4 straight games. Kelly Miller Phillips is 7-5. Coach Eckerman 0-4. From 1978 to 2005, the Cardinals were a dominant 33-7. And amidst that stretch, Kent State had never won 2 in a row. But when we look at the postseason, the last time these two teams faced in the MAC tournament, 2015. Kent State beat the Cardinals in the MAC championship in 3. It was the last game coached by Steve Shondell in the Cardinal and white.
Yeah, it really was a passing of the torch thing for Ball State to go from Shondell over towards Kelly Miller Phillips, who was on the staff that season, so she remembers. She still has that, maybe that salt in the wound right there. But really for Ball State, in this third set, you have to look back of, hey, Kent State, they came back in set number 2. They came out firing. They were really strong at the net. It's really tough to counter, but for Ball State, the dump overs, that was really crucial for Kent State when it came to just stopping the Cardinals and getting balls down on the floor. You have to avoid having those alleys opening up. For the Cardinals, it's very achievable for the third set to be a statement set. We've seen it time and time again where they've gone down and they've come back firing the next set. I think that kind of motivates this team. For Ball State, it especially rings true.
Ball State has done a great job under adversity this year, but turning over to hitting percentages, the Cardinals at 24% to Kent State's 27.8. Ball State, who leads the MAC in kills, mind you, 24 today. Kent State is more productive with 32. Outstanding showing here from these Golden Flashes in offense and in defense, having a handful of blocks. 6 to Ball State's 5.
I think in a lot of ways, Ball State was caught off guard by just how ready Kent State was. I mean, I talked to Haley Eckerman, the head coach of the Golden Flashes. She was talking about what she's seen on tape from Ball State, and she knows what they run. She's seen the last few matches. She's gone back. She's watched not even the Miami match, the Ohio matches as well. She knows that everything they run is fairly similar. She has a good idea of what Ball State is running, and she had her team ready, and that preparation is very apparent.
Looking at that second set, we just mentioned attack percentages. Ball State as a team hit just 8% on 25 attacks. 7 were kills, but 5 crucial attack errors from this offense, uncharacteristic of them all year. Now we see how they can respond. A minute and a half separates us from break time and game time.
And for Ball State in a situation where it's a gut punch to lose the second set, especially the way they did, where Kent State came out firing. What it comes down to in set number 3 is you got to utilize your blockers. Carson Tyler, they went to her quite often in the second set. I think this time around, go to what worked against Miami, which was the Gwen Cruel and Cam Weiss show in the middle. Dump off to them, and I think they can win those battles, especially when they're coming in strong off the middle. That's where Ball State can really win. I know when it comes to the blocking numbers and the blockers, Kent State kind of has the edge there, but when on an attack, I think it's really tough to stop Weiss or Cruel.
The two have a combined 7 kills. Krull 2 in 7 attacks, but also 2 attack errors. Cam Weiss hitting a perfect 500. 5 kills on 10 attacks. 30 seconds now before these two teams come back. Kent State goes to the left, Ball State to the right.
For Ball State now, with not much time left coming out until this third set, you have to win the first point. That was the big thing for Kent State. The Cardinals got that first point. Kent State knew how important it was. That's why they challenged the play. take it point by point, possession by possession. That's how you win sets.
These two teams return to the floor, and we are back for set number 3. On the floor for the Ball State Cardinals, Sophie Ledbetter, Tiffany Snook, Elizabeth Tabling, Gwen Kroll, Carson Tyler, Cam Weiss, and Lindsey Green. There will be a shuffling as we decide who will serve and who will receive. Ledbetter comes in. Gwen Kroll comes out. Serving first, the pride of Italy, Greta Bolognini.
Hey, and a rare international player on Kent State's roster. The only one that's really getting significant playing time, really representing Italy proud.
From our friends across the pond, a product there, she serves. Green, now to Tyler, first attack, that'll go. You said the Cardinals needed to score on their first rally. They do just that.
Well, that's how you do it right there. Carson Tyler coming in hot on the left side of the net with the back row attack.
Green now gets the chance to serve. It goes wide into Timbuktu, and Kent State gets the point.
Yeah, service errors, it's hurt Ball State, especially in set 2. It came back to bite them. Kent State got rallies off of that. They got ahead with that.
Next to serve is the libero Brenner. Tabling, Green, Weiss up the middle, but completely stuffed by Miller. This time it's Tyler facing the double block, recovered by Bolognini. Now McGuire, somehow off the hands of Ledbetter. Tyler again just pushes it over a little too wide, and Kent State leads 2-1.
Greta Bolognini is the MVP of that possession with the dig for Kent State. Really, before Haley Brenner came into the picture, she was their primary libero last season. Hasn't been the case this year, but she can still dig a ball.
Bolognini averages 1.5 digs per set, able to get her first there as the serve goes into the lattice. Carson Tyler's right arm will get us going for another rally. Checking in is Noelle Van Ort for the defensive specialist Elizabeth Tabling, opting to go for more offense as Tyler serves it away. Bolognini to Vigil behind her, back to Miller, and that will land off the Cardinal tip.
Man of the Golden Flashes once again come out firing. Where Ball State won that first point, Kent State knew, hey, it's go time. It's really important, but it's not the definition of the set to win that first point. It's not the defining moment.
Patterson will serve once more. We've heard her name so much today, but that one goes into the network. And Ball State knots it up at 3-3. Sophie Ledbetter to serve.
This is very similar to what we saw in set 2 for both teams. 3-3, kind of what we saw in that last set.
Gyrating ball recovered by Katie Patterson. McGuire from the attack. Tyler gets it. Green to Kroll. Completely stonewalled is Kroll by Nadia Miller. Yet another block for the productive 6-foot-even sophomore.
I talked about utilizing the blockers for Ball State. They did just that, but Miller just stonewalled her. I like the look. I think you keep going to Gwen Kroll.
This Cardinal bench is silent as Mackenzie McGuire serves it away. Van Ort to Green to Van Ort again. Can the graduate respond? No. It's a scramble for the ball, but it goes on Kent State's side. Vigil dumps it over, and that has been back-breaking. She gets another kill.
Christina Vigil, that's how she's going to get most of her kills, over 50 on this season. Another great opportunity that she saw wide open.
We're knotted up at 1-1, but Kent State, with all the momentum, they're rolling. Now it'll be to Tiffany Snook. Easily recovered by Kent State. Mercedes Brown. Ledbetter keeps the rally alive. Now Green, back row attack from Tyler. McGuire responds with a dig of her own. Nadia Brown's attack goes wide. Cardinals get the point. Looks like they wanted a dig from Van Ort, won't get it.
Ball State coming back strong there, knowing that you go back to the back row attack, but how do you handle it for Kent State? It's really tough, and they had the errant kill attempt.
Axness and Ashby jump in. The former gets the chance to serve. Riley Whitlock stays on the bench. Scramble for the ball, and Kent State's attacks once more. Lands between Axness and Tyler. The former claps her hands in frustration as Kent State leads 6-4.
I don't know how that got through that wall in the back row for Ball State. They had the right idea, but McGuire was just able to get in there.
Best blocking lineup the Cardinals have with Ashby, Kroll, and Van Ort. Axness now to Kroll. Tipped over, but a whistle was blown early, and Kent State with another point.
Yeah, I think 2 Cardinals touched that at the same time. That's always going to get them.
Little discombobulation from the Cardinal offense we've seen as of late. Served again by Miller. Tyler, Axness, Kroll, lateral movement, that'll go.
But there's another way you can utilize your blockers. It doesn't just have to be winning a joust. It can be attacking the back line of Kent State. Gwen Kroll can do that very well. She can hurt you in so many kind of ways.
The swaying Kroll clapped it home. Now Elizabeth Tabling comes in. Her offering crosses the timeline. Brenner, Behill dumps it over. Tabling gets it this time. Now it'll be Tyler on the left side. Just short of that corner, and Kent State leads 8-5.
I've really liked Ball State's attacks in this set. They just haven't found the inside of those lines. Eventually they will fall. It just comes down to maybe not playing the tightrope as much.
Behill gets the chance to serve, but that time into the mesh. Cam Weiss checks back in. And ready to serve is Gwen Kroll, the other middle blocker. In the front row, Weiss, Ashby, and Tyler. Kroll in serve receive. The attack from Ginley just pushed up. Tabling to Axness to Tyler. Yes! Good response from the kid of New York.
That's one of the great things that Reese Axis can do well. Those off-balance, falling back setups. Great job by the freshman.
Hard to stop the right arm of Carson Tyler for anybody. That time Kent State couldn't either. Back row attack from McGuire. Goes over the stands. Almost hits the talent booth up there for ESPN. Gosh, what power does she have?
Yeah, that almost went into the second deck. That was insane. McGuire can hit it harder than most.
Now it'll be Bolognini. Kent State is completely rounded in this neck-and-neck game. They're back to the top of the order, and Carson Tyler, you need someone to rely on. Who you gonna call? The sophomore delivers.
You really have to constantly go to Carson Tyler. That's her 8th kill. You kind of want more, but still, you have to go to her in situations like that.
Green serves from the far right side, recovered by McGuire. She'll get the chance to attack. Just tipped over, pancake from Green, and Tiffany Snook sets it over. Free ball on a missed opportunity. Now it's Miller. Ledbetter saves it. Tabling sets it up right by us. Carson Tyler just tips it over, but McGuire with the recovery. Now it's another set. Discombobulation from both offenses. Can Carson Tyler extinguish? No. Long sustained rally, the longest of the day, as the Cardinals get a chance to respond. Green to Weiss. Yes! The Cardinals have knotted it up at 9-9, and they find themselves with momentum once more.
The fact that the Cardinals even won that set is huge, especially on a play where you thought that Kent State won it. Ball State was able to get the save with Lindsey Green. I think they're going to look at something right now. Maybe it is that play we were referencing where you thought for sure Kent State got it down.
Green card is pulled by Coach Haley Eckerman. She's 1-1 in challenges so far today. Chance for these two teams to confer. Kelly Miller-Phillips talking to her setter, Reese Axness. One former setter to a current one. Miller-Phillips spent time at Purdue as a setter, then finding her way in the coaching world. Now she fronts the Ball State Cardinals.
Hey, she learned from one of the best at Purdue in Dave Shondell, who's still coaching to this day and doing such great things for the Boilermakers. Ball State played Purdue earlier this season at Worthen Arena. That was a 3-0 win for the Boilermakers. A Purdue team that's not just one of the best in the Big Ten, but also really one of the best teams in the country.
It was a fun passing of the torch.
Yes.
Between Shondell and Miller-Phillips. Both have been nothing short of productive and excellent in their respective roles. Miller-Phillips, 116 wins to 45 losses in her MAC career. Still conferring with her freshman Axness, coming from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. 345 assists to her name, averaging about 4.5 per set. She's really come into her own this year, Roen, getting more and more time. She and Green have 2 straight MAC Setter of the Week nods earlier on in September. It's certainly a setter committee, and both have been remarkable so far.
You look at it this way. Lindsey Green is a junior. She's not going to be here forever. How do you build for the future? Well, you have a setter committee where I wouldn't really even say one's better than the other, Dylan. I'll be completely honest. I think it just comes down to you got to give the upperclassmen a tad bit more reps with Lindsey Green. I think they're both 2 of the 5 best setters in the Mid-American Conference. I'm really not afraid to say that. Reese Axis is a freshman, has done such great things for Ball State. That's why her and Lindsey Green, you can't just give that Setter of the Week award to one of them. You have to give it to both of them.
You got to love the conversations between KMP and Reese Axis, but in comparison, for their last 3, Lindsey Green has 62 assists and 17 digs to Axis with 48 assists and 9 digs. Production on either end. But as you mentioned, Axis is certainly the protege to Lindsey Green, but while you have them both, it's a chance for Axis to not only develop, but thrive amongst her own. The whistle is blown. Kent State gets the point. Another whistle is blown. Eckerman beside herself. I don't know what the call was, but...
Yeah, they give it to Ball State, and she was celebrating off of the timeout as if Kent State had won, but no, Ball State got that point.
Well, that's my mistake. The officials pointed to the Kent State side first. Kind of jumped the gun, but Lindsey Green will get us back underway. Quick response from Miller, but tabling recovers. Green to Snook. What a momentum shift as McGuire and Gintley get the stuff.
Mackenzie McGuire has been doing it all today for Kent State, kind of like what Carson Tyler does for Ball State. She can hurt you in so many different ways, and at the net is another way.
Now it's Brenner. 188 digs coming into this game, also 38 assists. Averages 12.8 digs per match in her last 5. Rice's attack, rare attack error there from the Indiana kid, and Kent State gets the point, 11-9.
Yeah, rare indeed. You're looking at a player that leads the MAC in hitting percentage. It just didn't quite go down for her. A little bit too much mustard on it.
Efficiency has been her mantra, not there. Does she get another chance? No, it's Tyler, but stuffed. That's Nadia Miller and Macy Moreland.
Only so much Sophie Ledbetter can do. Got one hand to it, but when Nadia Miller hits it as hard as she does, you really can't win.
Kent State leads by 3. Momentum would suggest otherwise. Tyler now gets the attack, but it's wide, much to the chagrin of the aforementioned sophomore. Kent State now ahead by 4.
Ball State's constantly working that tightrope on the narrow ends, and it hasn't been going their way.
Kent State last in the conference, but they've shown a lot of fight. Tyler the dig. Now the attack from Tiffany Snook up the middle. That'll go.
It goes to show right there that you don't have to hit it the hardest. You have to hit it the smartest. And what I mean by that is you have to look in that split second you have to find the opening, and Snook did that.
Work smarter, not harder. Tyler serves it over. Fight between 2 golden flashes, but they send it over. Green now to Snook again. It's hit off the arm of Vigil and lands home on the Cardinals side of the net. I mean, you can't make this up, Roen.
Yeah, maybe hit a little bit too hard on that. I mean, that's one of those things where it's better to be lucky than good, and Kent State did it right there.
I mean, you don't think there's such a thing as hitting it too hard, but suppose it happened there as Patterson serves it over. Green, now it'll be Tyler on the right side, hits the top of the net, and the knuckleball will work.
The knuckleball is the perfect way to describe it. Off of the net, it has so much English on it that you really can't contain it. Ball State had the perfect chance.
Now Ledbetter's offering on the near right side, crosses the timeline, mishandled by, that is Katie Patterson, defensive specialist, can't opportunistic there.
Yeah, and the second ace for Ball State, you haven't seen it too often today. The Cardinals came back there.
That time it's handled. Second touch, tried to be a kill for Christina Vigil, won't go. Falls out of bounds, sailed past that stripe. And Sophie Ledbetter will rise again. The lead is now cut down to 1. Kent State has the advantage of 14-13, but could be changed right here. Vigil to Miller up the middle. It stays in bounds, and Kent State is up to 15, but a green card immediately to the left hand of Kelly Miller-Phillips. We're going to go under review.
I love the confidence of KMP and her Ball State team. After that, immediately, just quietly to the official, Kelly Miller-Phillips is like, yeah, let's look at that one.
Known to have a stoic presence on the court.
Yeah, that's how you have to be. That's how you have to be. I really like what she does on that side, how she approaches the game. From a mental standpoint as well, a lot of coaches like to yell. A lot of coaches like to get in your face. Kelly Miller-Phillips, she's not going to do that, but she's really going to tell it how it is, and that's a perfect example right there.
We went into media timeout with that review, so we're going to take a short breather here. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Well, together, we're all in it together. And I said it in my press conference, it's not just the players, it's not just the coaches, it's the administration, it's the trainers, it's the strength staff, it's the alumni coming back, it's the people in the community supporting our program.
Together to me is just moving as one cohesive unit.
I feel like I could just go back to like our conditioning, like our workouts together.
You're building a lifelong brotherhood with this team.
When I hear that word, it fires me up because I feel like it explains, football in a sense.
New episode of Together is out now.
You're listening to Ball State Volleyball, streaming live with SportsLink Digital.
Now back to the arena.
This broadcast is produced by the students of Ball State SportsLink and presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For your next new or pre-owned vehicle, drop by the showroom at the corner of McGalliard and Morrison Roads in Muncie, or visit victorymuncie.com. Again, victorymuncie.com. A little bit of a trip there to the Victory Honda showroom, but certainly having a lot of fun. The two of us are here in Kent, Ohio at the Mack Center. It's been a wonderful venue, wonderful game so far, Roen, where Kent State has had all of the advantage.
I've really loved the third set, though. Kent State in set 2 took full control, had some of the best energy I've seen from a volleyball team all season, knowing that your season's on the line and you have a lot to lose, or nothing to lose, really, and also a lot to lose from a standpoint of, hey, the postseason, it might not be in the cards, but also you have everything to gain, and they're playing like it. The third set's been very back and forth. It's been one of the better sets you'll really see. Ball State, they've been punched in the throat. We'll put it that way, but they've gotten right back up. Every time Kent State goes on any kind of run, Ball State's able to counter in their own way. The Cardinals have had the response, and Kent State's been unable to pull away in the third set.
The Flash's trainer, Brianna Failer, gets her name called again, as it looks like Macy Moreland was getting taped up on her right arm, nursing some sort of injury. We hope she's all right. We're still under review, but our head official returns to the middle of the table. That's Drew Puckrin. Looks like a call's about to be announced, but still some discourse between coaches and players. Announcement coming, just a matter of moments. The anticipation is killing us.
It really is.
Big momentum swing here right now. Kent State leads by 2. We'll see what it is. The officials look. A whistle is about to be blown. Still some discourse between the two.
Wow.
Looked like they were a little too far away, so they will converge.
I guess so. It's one of those moments. It has to be really awkward as an official, especially as the head official in Drew Puckrin. Everyone's looking at you. Everyone in the gym is looking at you. What do you do in that situation, especially when you might not have the idea of what call you want to do, what call you want to go with?
So Drew Puckrin and our second referee, Carrie Newland, in discussion now, but long standoff here between the Flashes and Cardinals. Seems like all that Kent State momentum could be sucked out of the room here, depending on the call or even with the call, with the intermission.
It's all about this. Kent State a 2-point advantage that can easily be won with this call. This is such a big point. Kent State won the race to 15. That's the biggest thing, but Ball State can really battle back with this.
It's the second time they've done so. The first time was in set 2. Whistle is blown and Kent State gets the point. Now discussing Kelly Miller-Phillips as to what happened there from his perspective. It'll be 15-13 remaining. The Kent State advantage. Mackenzie McGuire will serve from the near left side.
As a coach, maybe you're a little dumbfounded about what you just saw and what the call was, but you also have to think about it, okay, what can my team do better? I think that's what a lot of the conversation with the official is. What did I miss as a coach?
Coach KMP was flabbergasted, but we are back underway. Tyler to Green. It'll be to Van Ort. One-on-one, she gets the kill off a tip.
Dylan, that's what I like to call a Texas leaguer. Everyone in the area for Kent State, and it gets down for Van Ort. That blooper just getting down.
Perfect spot from Van Ort. You can see that in NAIA or D1. Now Axness comes in and gets the honor of serving from the far right side. Behill will send to Brown. Carson Tyler with the dig. Now it's Van Ort again. 2 straight? No. Mercedes Brown and Nadia Miller with a rejection at the line.
That's one of the toughest things for Ball State is to win that battle in the trenches, something they really haven't done.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, and you have to worry about the cardio of Ball State as they fly around the floor. Ledbetter mishandles the serve, just touched over by Krull, and that'll work. Collision there from Patterson and Vigil, but Krull gets the kill between 12 and 14.
And that wasn't really, the main purpose there was to get it over the net, let alone get down on the floor. I mean, she just wanted to get it over the net. It got down instead.
Van Ort now confers with Brad Klein. Tabling serves it over. Mercedes Brown with just a tip, but Ashby off one leg throws it over, and that'll work.
That was a great job that time by Gwen Krull, too, getting down, kind of serving as a decoy for Ashby to get the touch over.
Ashby's first kill in a couple weeks as that tabling serve is mishandled. The Cardinals lead once more, 17-16, and you got to worry about how that timeout affected Kent State's momentum. Tabling serves from the near right side. Vigil the set to Ginley up the middle. Violation called, and Kent State gets the point. The dig from Axness hit the Jumbotron, but stoppage is called, and we're knotted up at 17.
So for Kent State now, evening it up at 17 is big, especially off of that second touch. Great response.
Either team 8 points away from taking a lead. Axness now to Krull on the side, but dug up by tabling. Rally stays alive. Carson Tyler. That attack is saved by Mercedes Brown, but Flashes are tripping amongst themselves. Tabling behind her, back to Tyler. Cardinals want a tip, they don't get it. Tabling, begging her coach, KMP, for a green card to be pulled. It won't happen.
It's just rare for her to pull the trigger on another challenge, especially after you just lost 2 points ago. It's going to be tough.
Tabling recovers the serve. Axness to Krull. This time she sways, but the Flashes recover. One-on-one, Tyler McGuire, no. Tyler, she tries again. Dug up by Kent State. Mercedes Brown, Ashby and Krull get the block. Ashby with the bump. Axness now to Krull down aisle 3, and that'll go. We're tied up at 18, and set 3 becoming cinema.
Dylan, I think you're right about that. Last time out, the challenge from KMP really going against Kent State.
These teams are dead even right now as Krull sends it over. Weiss just touches it herself, and the Cardinals lead once more.
Ball State doing what Kent State did in set 2, which is playing smarter, not harder. That was my biggest key for them in set 3, and now they're up by 1.
Krull will rise again. Brenner recovers. McGuire the bump. Now Mercedes Brown just has to bump it over. Carson Tyler says no! Cardinals lead 2018.
Out of that timeout, it's really been all Ball State. Even though the Cardinals didn't win that challenge, Kelly Miller-Phillips, maybe that stoppage of play was, even if you're not going to win the challenge, just knowing you have the opportunity to make the proper adjustments, I think it's genius by KMP and the Cardinals.
And speaking of stoppages, Coach Haley Eckerman holds up the tee, and these two teams will converge once more. Cardinals lead 2018 in set 3. Here at SportsLink Digital Radio, Dylan Budd, Roen Elbert, the pleasure to call both of these games. The best stories in Ball State sports, our latest videos, and SportsLink program information can be found at ballstatesportslink.com. And looks like Flash is a wizard, Roen.
Oh.
The celebrity lookalike Jumbotron says he looks very similar to Albus Dumbledore.
That's who it is.
Maybe the beard is replaced with the long beak of Flashy, but you know, a good attempt by the bird nonetheless.
You know, I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but just by the photo, I think he pulled it off.
Kent State looking for some magic today.
That's exactly what it's been. In this second set, it really was magic, especially with the illusions, you could say, up front from Kent State of being able to see the openings, playing smart volleyball for one, seeing the alleys. Ball State's done that very well in the third set. That's really been their thing.
You could call it magic. We call it maction. These two teams converge back onto the floor. Gwen Crowell will rise again and get us underway. Cardinals lead 2018 in set number 3. The product of Wisconsin. Spent a year at Bowling Green, now her second year at Ball State. She sends it over. This time it'll be Mercedes Brown. Weiss and Ashby touch it, but can't be corralled by Axness. Kent State ties it down to 1.
Once again, Kent State coming out of a timeout, getting the first point. That's always going to be huge. Ball State has won the race to 20, but we both know it's all about the race to 25 in the long run.
Now Kent State's back at the top of the rotation with Greta Bolognini. She serves it over. Tyler sets it up. Axness now to Weiss up the middle. That'll land right at that middle spot. And Ball State gets another.
Ball State's not hitting it the hardest, but they're hitting it the smartest. Like I said earlier, just tapping it over, seeing the openings. They've been doing it all of set 3.
And now as Lindsey Green prepares to serve, in comes Tiffany Snook. And a topper can't be handled by Brenner. Just enough for the Cardinals to get a 3-point margin.
I don't think it's I don't think it's purposeful to hit it off the top of the net, but it works.
Green, another topper, but this time recovered by Kent. McGuire. Weiss says no! It's the first time McGuire has been stuffed all day, and it couldn't have been bigger.
It's a slap in the face to Kent State for sure to get that big point with the block.
Cardinals now 2 sets away from having a set advantage. Weiss another block. That time it'll go. Cardinals at 24. Coach Eckerman is beside herself as she wants an explanation for the joust.
I think what she wants here is, I don't think she thought there could have been any stoppage in play right there. And maybe I'm with her on that, but it's too late to really right that wrong.
After 2 straight blocks from Weiss, to serve is Lindsey Green. Mishandles the serve. Tried to be saved by Macy Moreland, and the Cardinals will take set 3.
This was a set that Kent State really in the beginning controlled, kind of carrying the momentum over from that set 2 win. But Ball State, after that 15-point, when they lose the battle to 15, it's really a gut punch. I'm sure they felt it. They were motivated. They came back strong from there, and they were the better team in those final 10 points, and it really showed. So going into set 4, Ball State with the golden opportunity to win this one.
It's not often that you see the team with the lower attack percentage win the set, but it happened just then. Kent State landing on 20% of their attacks to Ball State's 14, but the latter outnumbers in kills. 14 kills for Ball State to Kent's 8. All of those attacks from Ball State seemingly having more volume than those of the Flashes.
It's all about making the most of your opportunities, and Ball State really did that with their smart attacks up front, the dump overs that we haven't really seen as much throughout the season. You have to go really deep into your playbook to win these matchups, these nitty-gritty matchups, especially when you're not winning the battle up front. You're not winning the battle at the net. You kind of have to go deep into your playbook, and Ball State has done just that.
The transactions between these two have been nothing but fun. Long and sustained rallies all game long. It's now 0-0 once more in set 4. Ball State ahead 2-1.
And for the Cardinals now, going into this 4th set, you have to continue the momentum in some way. Kent State, I'm sure they're ready for what Ball State has. You have the opportunity to adjust, but now it comes down to just how can the Cardinals go against that preparation from Kent State that you know they do a great job with. Haley Eckerman always has their team prepared. Ball State, how do you continue to attack and attack hard? That's a question that we really don't know the answer to.
The Flashes return to the floor, still all smiles from their bench. Certainly playing with fun, but Ball State a set away from taking the first of two.
Yeah, to me, that's been the biggest difference. Kent State, they're having a lot of fun out there, and Ball State, they are as well. You can really tell deep down, but for the Cardinals, I think, especially when it comes to a coaching standpoint with Kelly Miller-Phillips, it's really more all business on Ball State's side. That's not really a knock to Kent State. Teams do it differently. Kent State, if you come out in a flow state, you're having fun out there, you're thinking freely, you're playing freely, then you can play some really good volleyball. But Ball State, it's all about just being cold-blooded out there. The time for fun maybe comes after the win. You know, it's both teams do it differently. A lot of teams do it differently, and I like how those styles are kind of clashing right here tonight.
When we look at Coach Eckerman, it's hard not to notice her towering presence. A player before this spent 4 years at Texas, 4-time All-American, and won a national championship with the Longhorns in 2012. In 2019, her coaching career began at Lamar University. After that, it was Tarleton State, then an assistant at TCU before getting the job, the 9th coach in Kent State history. She still has a very reasonable chance of shocking Kelly Miller-Phillips and her squad today.
Oh, yeah, and she was talking about with Kelly Miller-Phillips when I talked to Haley Eckerman. She was talking about how she loves seeing what Kelly Miller-Phillips has done for Ball State as a woman who has come in and got consistent success with the program.
Now Lindsey Green gets us underway in set 4. Vigil to McGuire, but somehow kept up by Van Oort. Van Oort, a back row attack of her own, goes past the service line, and Kent State strikes first.
And just going back to what I was saying earlier, she said that, hey, maybe we need more of that in the Mid-American Conference. And, hey, Kelly Miller-Phillips and Haley Eckerman both bringing that to the table.
Brenner will send it over now from the right side, going right to left. Green to Snook, just tips it over, and that'll land in open hardwood for the Cardinals to even it up.
Those don't land very often. A floater on the back line, but that time it did. Kent State just caught sleeping.
Just enough from the 6'2" sophomore. Tyler sends it over. Mishandled by Haley Brenner. Her 35th reception error of the year, leads the team and is in the top of the MAC. Another one there, crucial mistake.
Yeah, that's the one you gotta have.
Whistle now blown. Tyler tries again. Vigil now to Moreland, but recovered. This time it'll be Snook again. Tapped up. It'll be Moreland once more. Doesn't look like it even touched the Cardinal blocking, but goes off the net on the Kent side, and Carson Tyler will serve again.
It's been a lack of communication for Kent State all in this 4th set.
Now it'll be Vigil up to Miller. Ledbetter the save. Somehow Van Oort recovers, and Green bumps it over. 3-ball on some confusion. Dump over, but Ledbetter saves it. That's big for the Cardinals. Tiffany Snook's attack recovered by Kent State. Now McGuire. Diving effort from Green keeps it alive. Van Oort the response. McGuire with the dig. Vigil now to Moreland. Long sustained rally. This could be the longest of the day. Can Van Oort end it? No. Bumped up by Vigil, now to McGuire. Who else? Ledbetter with yet another dig. Up to Green, now to Van Oort once more. Recovered by Brenner. Unable to put it away. This rally is still going. Van Oort finally almost extinguishes, but we still play on. McGuire again. That time the rally is concluded by the senior. I mean, who else?
That's one of those moments where if you're both teams, especially Ball State after losing the point, you have to look back on it and you have to take a breather. That was a long rally. It didn't go your way, but you have to take a step back, take a breather, and play on.
A marathon of this sequence of events. Now Katie Patterson serves. Just hits the top of the net, and Carson Tyler can't make the sliding effort. It's 3-3 now.
Here, this is 3 sets in a row where we've gone 3-3 because both teams are always strong coming out of a break, coming into the beginning of a set.
Patterson served over and over today. At time it's Tyler, the recovery. Van Oort past the double block. Effectively a tool for the graduate. So now it'll be Sophie Ledbetter from the far left side. Quick stoppage in play, and we're back underway. Brenner, V-Hill bumps it to Nadia Miller up the middle, off the hands of Gwen Kroll and into the earth.
The Cardinals, right now at this point, when it's 4-4, it's almost like a fresh start, especially at the beginning of a set. You have to view it that way. Same goes for the Golden Flashes.
Flashes up for offense, bringing in Mercedes Brown over the defensive specialist Bolognini. Now it's Tyler, just has to set it over. Confusion on this Cardinals side. Mercedes Brown, immediate impact.
Ball State's able to get a hand to it at the net. It goes off of the fingertips and out. The Cardinals upping that net presence, but to no avail that time.
Mackenzie McGuire will serve at just about the middle here on the right side. Tyler Green. Snook just tips it over, and that'll work. Finding the middle of the floor is Tiffany Snook, who gets checked out for Riley Whitlock.
Hey, that'll work for sure. Like you said, Tiffany Snook, who's really been solid all throughout today for Ball State, starting in this lineup and then really carrying the momentum into the fourth set.
Axness replaces Green and serves. Nadia Miller gets completely rejected by Noelle Van Oort, and yet it goes out of bounds.
Man, that is a tough break for Ball State. Van Oort had such a great play on that. Just went a little bit too wide on the Cardinals side.
Now Miller rewarded with the serve on yet another kill. Tyler, Axness, Van Oort, yes! Good response from the Indiana Tech transfer.
Coming from an NAIA school, having that much success, you don't know from an NAIA to D1 standpoint, how is it going to transition really seamlessly for Ball State and Van Oort.
She now chats with Tucker Bidding, the assistant coach, as Tabling brings it over. Crosses the timeline, and Ginley just powers over everybody.
Another big attack for Adeline Ginley in Kent State. We haven't called her number 2 often, but when you call on her name for the Golden Flashes, she'll always come through.
Should be noted that this matchup goes to 5. Ball State 6-3, Kent State 2-1. There, Gwen Kroll tries to stop it. Again, too much power. Now Carson Tyler. All of the power on her arm. That'll work. She bumps it up. Green to Tyler again. Thumps it, but recovered by Kent. Brenner bumps it to Mercedes Brown. Rejected by Whitlock and Kroll. Couldn't even get a touch on it, and it's 7-7.
They're expecting the touch at the net. Just goes under them. Yeah, you don't have to do much there.
Kroll now goes back to the stripe to serve. The gallop, and she sends it over. V-Hill to Ginley. Doesn't get over the net. Don't know what was going on there, but that arrangement ends in the Cardinal favor.
It was a simple miscommunication. Ginley thought she could get the spike off. She wasn't expecting to go in reverse with the setup.
Loss of leverage as the Cardinals now avail. One-on-one, Cam Weiss beats Macy Moreland. She's been ridiculous up the middle.
That's a matchup for Kent State with Moreland on Weiss. You're just not going to win.
Kroll serves again. McGuire, V-Hill, now to Mercedes Brown. Off the hands of Whitlock. Kept up, and Tabling has to free ball it over. Brenner, V-Hill, now to Ginley. Axness can't corral, and it's 9-9.
Adeline Ginley has really made her presence known in this fourth set. A player that's 7th in the entire Mid-American Conference in hitting percentage, transferring in from Marshall, really making her presence known in set number 4.
Greta Bolognini now sends it over. Carson Tyler, Reese Axness, Tyler again, pass 2, and that'll go. Away from the outstretched arm of Bolognini, the Cardinals respond and are the first in double figures.
The Cardinals working more across court in this fourth set. They were kind of working on those flanks, on those near sides, now going across court. I like what they're doing on the attacks.
Green with the offering. Now it'll go to Ginley up the middle. Tabling recovers. Green, Tyler, past the double block, but recovered by Bolognini. Ginley again. Ledbetter tries to save it, but no one can get to it. Kent State now just down 1. It'll be Haley Brenner to serve right by the Golden Flashes bench. He offers it. Tyler to Green to Snook. But into the outstretched arms of Brenner. McGuire's response goes over the head of everybody and lands home for yet another kill. much to the chagrin of this Flashes crowd.
Yeah, Ball State, they were able to get a hand on it, but not in the way they want. Kent State off of the deflection with the big point.
Brenner to rise again. Tabling. Now Green. Cam Weiss up the middle. Discombobulation results in a Cardinal point.
I've loved these toppers for Ball State. Off of the top of the net and down. It's not a part of the game plan. That's all I know. But the English you get off of that, it really works in your advantage.
The quick go balls have been great to outpace as Weiss gets another. The serve receive was a struggle for Kent. Cam Weiss just taps it home.
You have to wake up. No one was paying attention in that vicinity. Weiss took full advantage.
Tyler serves, picked up by Brenner. Set up by Moreland. McGuire just has to bump it over. Green out of Weiss again. Recovering save is Bolognini. Now it's McGuire. Past the arm of Carson. Tyler outstretched, and now it's 12-11. Cardinal advantage.
Even though that went against Ball State, I have to highlight Lindsey Green doing such a great job. You think she's going to dump it over, but she goes with a sliding pass instead, really catching Kent State off guard.
It's getting sticky at the Mack Center in Kent, Ohio. Katie Patterson once more. Ledbetter gives it to Van Orten. That's smacked. Yet another for Noelle Van Orten, her 8th of the day. Ledbetter gets the honor of serving. She has 20 digs today. Excellent performance from the defensive specialist. McGuire brought up. Ledbetter the set now as Tiffany Snook gets one to me.
How about that?
Like to think that was a nice recovery, but hey.
Unfortunately, no souvenir for you, my friend.
Normally sat up a little bit farther in the corner, but now we're in the line of fire. You gotta love it. Gwen Kroll tries to get it one-on-one, and that's gonna work. Amidst the scramble, the Wisconsin kid takes advantage. It's 15-11 Ball State, and we go to media timeout.
That's the number one thing. You win the race to 15. That's what coaches will emphasize. They do it by 5s almost, 5, 10, but 15 is such a critical point because you only have 10 to go to get to that 25, the cherished 25 point. Ball State by 4. They're in full control, really, in this fourth set. It might not show with the point total, but I think Ball State is controlling this fourth set and doing it well.
As Kansas plays in Kent, we'll take a short break here. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Hey Cardinal fans, this is Connor Onion, play-by-play broadcaster with Fox Sports, and I'm a proud SportsLink alum. You're listening to Ball State Sports Live with SL Digital. Chirp, chirp.
Ranked number 1 in the nation by the Broadcast Education Association, this is Ball State SportsLink with SportsLink Digital Radio.
Not often that Roen tosses to Roen, but we're having some fun on this broadcast. Speaking of which, this broadcast is produced by the students of Ball State SportsLink and presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For your next new or pre-owned vehicle, drop by the showroom on the corner of McGallard and Morrison Roads in Muncie, or visit victorymuncie.com. You're not going to find it here in Kent, Ohio. It's a little bit of a ways away, but Flashes have welcomed the Cardinals to the first of 2 matches here, covered by SportsLink Digital Radio. Dylan Budd, Roen Elbert, and we're back underway. Mackenzie McGuire, long attack, won't go. Now to Kroll up the middle, but saving is Greta Bolognini. Brenner has to spike it over from the back row. It'll be Kroll again. The lateral movement lands.
Kent State was not expecting Lindsey Green, the setter, to go in reverse for Ball State to Kroll. They were expecting the tack over to Snook. Didn't see it right.
Kroll bashes it home after the sway. Behill now to McGuire. Double block. Gwen Kroll says no. Kent keeps it alive. Ledbetter the set. Green now to Kroll again. Flag is waved, and it's Kent State's point.
Big for Kent State, knowing that after Ball State got the first point out of the break, that you're really digging yourselves bigger and bigger into a hole. And here we are now with the point.
Kenzie McGuire will serve once more. Picked up by Tyler. Green keeps it up. Van Orten. Not out of bounds in the coffin corner. Cardinals get the point at 17-12. In comes Kendall Eden. She hasn't had much time all year. 5 games played this year, but includes 3 in the MAC, NIU, Miami, and most recently, their home games against Toledo. Attack there from Miller. Eden says no as it falls out of bounds. She gets the chance to serve once more. 5'4" freshman getting time today.
Well, that's why you bring her in. She is a serving specialist.
Now set up, it'll be Miller again, but Noelle Van Oort says no. It lands in bounds. Cardinals 6 points away from a victory. Timeout is taken by Haley Eckerman. She gets a chance to talk it over. Cardinals have all the momentum.
You have to really emphasize to your team about, hey, it's do or die. Kent State, we're looking at a team that really has to win out to make the MAC tournament. A loss here really knocks them out of play. You really have to think about that if you're the Golden Flashes. You don't want to have to put that pressure on your team. And Haley Eckerman told me, she said, I'm not going to be the one to tell them that, hey, you really have to win out to go to the MAC tournament and have a little bit of help in the process. But in a situation like this, maybe they need that fire. That maybe they need to ignite that fire in their gut like that. Maybe that's when you have to say, hey, I think we really need to win out here, and it starts right now. Maybe not in the timeout here. I think maybe the timing wouldn't be right, but I think you have to say, hey, we really need to win this match if we want a chance at the postseason.
A loss would eliminate those chances, but when we turn over to Ball State, 2 wins would clinch a spot in the MAC tournament. They've been so productive all year. This win would put them at 12-1, and in a situation so dire, Kendall Eden gets the nod. Hasn't had much time, but Coach Kelly Miller-Phillips at the beginning of the year said that Kendall caught her eye immediately with the hustle, quickness, and consistency as a defender. Every time KMP watches her, she expands her range, throws her body on the floor to save balls, and is always looking to improve her game, citing that she would be a great addition to the backcourt. Now she gets the chance to get us back underway, but it falls into the network. Might be a little bit of an announcer jinx, but Kent State will get the serve nonetheless.
Still in a good position if you're Ball State, even up by 6 in a juncture like this.
Now Nadia Miller gets the nod. Picked up by Tyler Green. Now it'll go the opposite side, Van Oort. Pancake there from Patterson, and we're still going. Green now to Van Oort. This time goes off the antenna. Ball State's point. Thunderous from the graduate.
That was all Kent State on that possession. They had the right idea. They had the strong presence up front, but going off of the antenna, that's a no-no.
Returning to the floor is Elizabeth Tabling. Sends it away. Brenner, Vigil, Kinley up the middle. Block attempt from Tyler, just rolls on the angle shot, and Kent State responds with a point of their own.
Kent State, they have a mountain to climb. Plays like that are going to dig you out of that hole one by one.
Now it'll be Christina Vigil. Prominent setter in the Mid-American Conference. She sends it over. Tyler goes off the head of Mercedes Brown, and the Cardinals get the kill. It's 21-14.
And Mercedes Brown took it like a champ. I have to say that. Haley Eckerman checking in on her, as you should in a moment like that. Carson Tyler, one of those players that hits it harder than anyone, but Mercedes Brown really acting like it's nothing. I think it may be true adrenaline right there, knowing that you need to get these points, but who knows?
Brown just got domed. Now Kent State, can they respond with Kinley? No! Cam Weiss with the rejection. Timeout taken. Kent State's postseason chances are on the line, 3 points away from being ousted.
Yeah, just dwindling at the moment. You have to think about it. You knew it was a long shot, but playing against Ball State to get that first win of the series, it would solidify to the rest of the Mid-American Conference of, hey, we're still here. Even though we're 12th in the MAC, we're still here, but it just hasn't been the case. I do think they've played strong, but this is more like set 1 Kent State compared to set 2 or 3. Set 1 Kent State, I mean, hey, they had the advantage, but like a lot of teams, as you get later and later into the matchup, they're not going to play their best volleyball, but it's been the opposite for Ball State. They're getting better and better by the matchup, and I think by the set, I should say. And I think it comes down to just reading Kent State, reading it in the game, and knowing that if you can get better each set, which they've really done, then you can really pull away with the victory.
The Arctic Monkeys play at the Mack Center, fitting for the Kent State team. Do they want to know what's on the line? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Gwen Kroll will bring us underway from the far left side. Just 3 points away from being 11-1 are the Ball State Cardinals. The Gallop, the Offering, and we're back underway. Vigil now to Moreland, and it goes out of bounds off of the hands of Carson Tyler. Kent State with yet another point off a timeout.
I do want to emphasize this. For Kent State, these players aren't blind. They know what's at stake as well, and I think they have that in mind.
Bolognini gets the nod to serve. She sends it away. Tabling. Green. Weiss with the lateral attack. Barely collected by Moreland. We play on. McGuire slams it into tabling, and Kent is staying alive.
2 points coming out of the break, playing with a lot of energy, playing with a do-or-die mindset. Huge for the Golden Flashes.
5'8" senior rises again off the top of the net. Green just dumps it over. Backhander goes out of bounds. Tough scene. Would have been really crafty from the Cardinal setter, but it's now 22-17, Cards by 5. Bolognini sends it over again. Tabling, Green, Tyler on the opposite side. It's slammed and can't be corralled. The Cardinals are 2 points away.
Across court from Carson Tyler, yet again working to the opposite side. That's where she's going to get the most power, and it's worked the best.
Lindsey Green will serve. No more timeouts for Coach Eckerman. No chances to talk it over. Vigil to Moreland, but somehow saved by Ledbetter. It'll be Tyler once more. Brenner, Vigil, Moreland. Doesn't even get over the net. Wow. Just a tough scene for Kent State, but nonetheless, the Cardinals 1 point away from a victory somewhere in Muncie. We Love to Party by the Vegna Boys is playing. Cam Weiss with the exclamation point. And that's gonna do it. The Ball State Cardinals beat the Kent State Golden Flashes in 4.
Usually I'm used to hearing the Worthen crowd roaring after a point like that. It's kind of weird to hear some crickets, but oh well. But the Ball State Cardinals really played well, and they played better each set by the other. Cam Weiss, man, what a performance, and getting the exclamation point. Just looking all in all with Ball State, especially with Cam Weiss. 11 kills for her. Unreal what she's been able to do. 13.5 points all in all for Wise. Ball State in that fourth set proved that they were the better team, and they played like they were the best team out on the floor in the fourth set, something like that they hadn't really done in the prior three, maybe more so in the first set. And I'm not just saying that because they won it, but it was really the momentum from the back half of the third set going into the fourth that really won the Cardinals this matchup.
Cam Weiss was masterful with her attacks. 11 kills, 20 attacks, hitting at 50% of her attempts. But when we turn over to what this means with the record, Ball State now on a 2-game winning streak advances to 12-1, excuse me. Kent State falls and is now eliminated from MAC postseason contention. They will be the first team eliminated so far.
It's always tough, but you have to remember that there's still a lot to play for. A lot of it, like I've talked to their head coach and Haley Eckerman about, is playing for next season. I know it's tough to think about because next season, if you think about it, it's 9-10 months away. You don't want to think about that, but it's something that's necessary to build your young talent. This is a Kent State team that has a lot of young talent, and I do genuinely think they have a bright future. You have to build that in these next few matches.
This is just one of 5 games being played across the conference today. Buffalo travels to DeKalb, Illinois, leading 1-0 in the second set. They're tied at 20. Turning over to just 15 minutes away, the Eastern Michigan Eagles face the Zips of Akron, who lead 2-1 but are down 22-18 in set 4. Ball State just came on top against Kent State to advance their winning streak to 2. In Miami of Ohio, they welcome the Bowling Green State Falcons. They're tied at 1 apiece, but Miami leads the way in set 3, 9-7. But the marquee matchup this weekend, the 2-seeded Toledo Rockets ahead of the Western Michigan Broncos, standing at that 3 seed. They're ahead 2-1 in set 4 and have the advantage there as well, 19-16. That's going to be really interesting to watch. Both teams at Ball State's heels right now, wanting a chance at that best spot in the conference.
That was one of the biggest series of the year for the Cardinals against a very good Toledo team. Ball State, when they dominated that series and took both matches, I think that really showed what this Cardinal team is capable of. This isn't your ordinary Ball State team. They're consistently good every year under Kelly Miller Phillips. We know that. But I think we know at this point, especially when you're 12-1 in MAC play, this team is special. It doesn't have you don't have to be a sidekick to know that.
Always a pleasure to call a game with you, Mr. Elbert, but we return tomorrow at 4 o'clock for the conclusion between these two squads. Kent State, Ball State, Saturday action. We will see you tomorrow. This has been a broadcast of Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
This has been a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.